Happy holidays, everybody. Welcome along.
Happy holidays.
It's Miles and Bob. We're here in the studio in the post-Christmas blues. How are you feeling after Christmas, Bob? Do you have a nice...
Pretty good.
nice
We had a lovely Christmas.
It's very nice, yeah. It was
really
good.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
Haven't had the snow here.
No, which is a bit annoying. And it's actually been an incredible year altogether for us here at WhisperingBobTV. Thank you all for being part of it and joining in with our maiden year here. But the sessions have been going really well, and we've had a lot of response to everything, and it's been really lovely.
We're one short, aren't we, of 100 sessions?
Yeah. So the
next session.
It actually works
100th.
out quite well. Yeah. The first session of 2015 is going to be the 100th Under the Apple Tree session in total.
Unbelievable.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
So thank you all for being a part of it. And as a little thank you and a little sort of festive treat for you in between the period of Christmas and New Year, we thought that it might be nice for you to ask some questions for Bob. So this is going to be a little sort of Q&A video. I'll be reading some questions out to Bob on my phone that we've got via Twitter and Facebook, and he's going to be answering some questions
I have no idea what they're going to be.
No.
Sort of university challenge.
Yeah. So I'll get my phone and we'll start reading some of the questions, Bob. Okay, so the first one's coming in from Facebook. It's actually from a Tia McGrath fan club.
Oh, okay. We love Tia and Tommy.
Yeah, and they did a great session for us as well.
They did,
didn't they?
Yeah.
Saying, what would be your most memorable moment in music that has made a life-changing impact on you?
Cool. Well, hearing Diana by Paul Anka for the first time when I was 11, I heard this record coming out of a doorway of a coffee shop. It was playing on the jukebox in the coffee shop. So I went in and I cashed in all my holiday money for Threepenny Bits. And I just fed Threepenny Bits into the jukebox so that I could keep hearing this record over and over again. And that's the record that took me into starting my collection. And
so it's the first record you ever had?
Yeah, it is. In fact, there's a framed copy of the old 78 on the studio wall.
Cool. Okay, so the next one comes from Peter Christopherson, who's on Facebook as well. And he asks, where do you actually rank Gram Parsons in the country pantheon?
Oh, wow. Right up there, in terms of influence. When you think that the Byrds invented country rock, basically, with Sweetheart of the Rodeo, and that the whole impetus and initiative for that record was from Gram Parsons. Then there was the Flying Burrito Brothers, all this melding of country music and rock, and then the two amazing solo albums in the early 70s. He discovered Emmylou Harris, Uncle Tupelo, Wilco, the Jayhawks, that Sun Volt, that whole generation of bands. Their sound was kind of based on the inspiration they'd taken from Gram Parsons. So he is a huge figure.
Right up there, then. Yeah, definitely. Okay, this is actually quite appropriate, seeing as we are in the Apple Tree studio here, sitting in front of all your wonderful CDs, because someone's asked, Mark Ringwood actually, has asked you, how do you catalogue your daily growing CD collection?
Well, they used to, years ago, be split into genres.
Yeah.
I used to have a blues section and a folk section and an old rock and roll section and all of that. Now, okay, so this is the country and Americana wall. Mm-hmm. All my country singles and albums are up here.
Yeah, so it means that all the Under the Apple Tree sessions that take place in this little area all happen in front of this wall of CDs, which is where normally the banner is, isn't it, that covers the...
And you can see, if you go in closely, they're in alphabetical order. It's a simple A to Z. That's the only genre that's split away from the main collection, because obviously doing the country show every week, I'd like to be able to get at the country CDs most easily. Mm-hmm. But all the rest are just in one major A to Z.
Yeah.
So everything is A to Z.
Rachel Muller is asking, what is the genuine perception of the UK's country music offerings over in Nashville?
Well, Rachel, this is changing. I mean, up until you would say this year, it's been pretty negative, to be honest. I mean, and I think that's a lot to do with the fact that so many country artists from the UK, mainstream country artists anyway, tried to copy American artists and sound just like them. And of course, culturally, you just can't. It just doesn't work. That's not to say that through the years there have been some really good, what you'd probably call Americana edge, sort of country style artists in this country. Peter Bruntnell is one that always comes to my mind, the Redlands Palomino Company. But, okay, so this has changed this year with the arrival of two new groups, the Shires, who are a duo. Well, I suppose they're both duos, but the Shires and Ward Thomas, both of whom have taken country music influences and, if you like, anglicized them. They've made them their own. They've sort of owned this particular sound of their albums. And they've gone to America, they've gone to Nashville to make their records. They've used and played with amazing session musicians in Nashville. And I think now, we've also got the whole influence of C2C, the Country to Country Festival, the pop-up stages round the O2, and now they're booking right now, as we speak, at the end of January, just after Christmas. And of course, there's an avalanche of country-style bands applying for space on one of these stages. So, with the influence of C2C, the major artists that are coming over to play at the O2, this is all creating an amazing energy, I think, Miles, don't you? That's going to soak through now. I think as we go through the next few years, we'll see more and more artists from Britain making really good country music.
Yeah, I do. Right, Bob, now we're going to head over to Twitter, and Richard Hopkins has asked, what are your feelings for the current music scene? Sort of, I suppose, more general than just UK, but the music scene in general, Bob. How are you feeling about things at the moment?
Very positive.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's great. I really do, actually. I mean, somebody at my age, Miles, like when I'm in the back of a cab or something and the cab driver, "Oh, Bob, you're right then, and what do you think of the music scene now? It's not as good as it was in the 70s. Or actually, what they say often is, it's not the same as it was in the 70s. And I say, no, it isn't the same. It's much better, because there's a really wide range of music now that's very, very accessible to everybody. This is an incredible thing, that iTunes has brought into our lives. There's good and bad in everything. You look for the good or you look for the bad. I mean, the internet is not a 100% great thing. iTunes is not a 100% great thing, but you look for the positives of it, and you've suddenly got this record shop in your computer, a worldwide record shop. You can get anything from anywhere. I mean, I even back up my own collection. If there's something I really can't find, then 9 times out of 10, I can find it on iTunes.
Okay, so Robin McCulley asked you on Twitter, how did you first get into radio, or did TV come first?
No, radio came first. I was kind of discovered by John Peel is really what happened. I was desperate to get onto radio, and as a teenager living in Northampton, I used to listen to the radio the whole time. I moved to London when I was 19, and that's when I first heard the Perfume Garden. It's when I first heard Radio London, the old pirate radio station. I just absolutely just thought it was fun. I thought John was incredible. Radio 1 offered me sitting in for John Peel for 4 weeks is how I actually started on a show called Sounds of the 70s. On the way, I'd been the co-founder of Time Out magazine in 1968. And when Mike Appleton was, as it were, casting for the presenter of the Old Grey Whistle Test, his criteria was that he wanted a journalist who could broadcast. So I got the journalistic background. I was now on Radio 1. So I fitted the bill. So Mike offered me the show, and I started on Whistle Test just under 2 years after I started on Radio 1.
Okay, Bob, so I think this is probably going to be the last question today. We're going to do this sort of every now and again, so just keep tweeting Bob questions whenever you feel like it, and we'll do some videos in the future where he's going to answer a few more as well. But this is quite a nice one to finish with. I'm presuming this is about Nashville as well. From Keith Morey on Twitter, he asks, are you a 16th Avenue or an East Side man?
Well, we better define it first of all, hadn't we, Miles? Because 16th Avenue is Music Row. And that's the spine of the mainstream country music business in America. East Side is East Nashville, and that's the bohemian rebel side. It's literally the other side of the tracks. You go across the railway line, across the Cumberland River, and you're in East Nashville, which is a very bohemian. It's kind of like Greenwich Village, I think, possibly used to be in the 60s. It's that kind of vibe, little coffee shops, and it's very bohemian, great vinyl record shops. And we love East Nashville. In fact, we stay there at the home of the Red Beat label. Yeah. Whenever we're in Nashville. So we're very, very, very fond of East Nashville. But Music Row is extremely exciting. It actually really is. I mean, one of our great friends, Scott Borchetta, runs Big Machine, Taylor Swift's record label. It's the most successful label in America, isn't it, right now? Yeah. And I love spending time with Scott. I really enjoy spending time in the middle of that exciting vibe on 16th Avenue. You know, it's a bit of both.
Yeah, great. Well, I think that sort of concludes this little first ever Whispering Bob TV Q&A. Thank you for all your questions, and to all those that didn't get answered. We're sorry we couldn't fit you in this video, but if you
we got loads.
Yeah,
just do keep them coming though.
Yeah,
because
keep
we'll
them coming.
Do another session.
Yeah, we'll do these every once in a while, you know.
Yeah.
And it's nice to start the first one just before the end of 2014 to reflect on the year that's just been. If you want to carry on watching, we've got loads more sessions coming up on the channel. We've got a whole host that have already been recorded that haven't gone out. People like Katie Armiger, Judith Owen.
Yes.
There's some...
Oh, Judith Owen, only with the greatest rhythm section probably that music has ever seen.
Yeah. James Taylor's backing band pretty much just
Russ Kunkel, Leland Scar.
Yeah, Waddy Wachtel. It was
it was just
pretty spectacular. So that's all to come in the new year. We've got loads of sessions that are going to be recorded then as well. We're going to be at various festivals and things over the summer too. So there's lots of stuff that's going to keep going on here. Thanks for all your support during the first year. It does mean a lot. It really does for us to be able to have an audience to give all this great music out to, because we really feel that all the music that we're featuring here on the channel does deserve to be heard by as many people as it possibly can.
Absolutely. So we believe in all these artists, and they turn up, 2 or 3 times a week, different sessions. And the standard in 2014, Miles, has been absolutely incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. 2015, you've got a way to go to beat this year.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, have a very good one.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Merry belated Christmas to you all.
Yes.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again on Whispering Bob TV very soon.
We'll see you soon.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.